Perfect. Well, first and foremost, thank you for joining us on No Holds Bar.
Yes, sir.
You look like you calling in from a very relaxing environment.
Yeah, I'm home. I'm relaxed.
We back in Texas.
Yes.
No doubt, no doubt. So look, Floyd, there's a lot that I could talk to you about, but I want to just start with you. Nothing boxing, nothing last week. We'll get there. I really just want to give, because No Holds Barred, what this whole segment is about bringing on the most notable people in boxing, today, past, present, doesn't matter. Catching up with them a little bit, and then just getting, their thoughts and assessments on different hot topics. But for the fans, I want to give them a little bit about you first. So, Senior, if you could just let us know, clarify for us, when you think back, when and how did you actually get in boxing?
My father. My father was a boxer, so I grew up in boxing too. He used to have me fighting kids on the street, as far as I can remember. When I was 5, 6, him and my mother ended up getting divorced because of that. Because he was like a bully. He was a street dude. She was a church girl. So I grew up boxing the same way Floyd did. But I was indisciplined. So my dad taught me to be a coach, or the journey taught me to be a coach as I went along. But I was indisciplined enough to be a boxer.
So you say you was fighting on the streets. Clarify that for us. What streets exactly? Because you're not from Texas originally.
No, I'm Brooklyn, New York, Jefferson Avenue. And then I grew up in Albany Projects, Troy between Prospect and St. Mark's. So if anybody know Albany Projects, that was rough too. So that's all I knew. I grew up just knowing fighting. And when me and Floyd became homeless, that's the only tool that I had to give him that I knew he could make money from. And that's how we got into boxing.
No doubt. My man Floyd Sr. was whooping ass on Jefferson Ave. That's a fact. So talk to us about that. How do you eventually get in boxing? And when do you bring Floyd to the gym for the first time?
Um, I got custody of Floyd when I was 2. I was in the music industry. I was at A&R. I was like Mr. Cheeks A&R. And like when him and Little Kim came out with that Lights Camera Action song, I was his A&R then. I worked with a bunch of artists. But when Floyd mom gave him up to the state because she was too young, she really didn't want kids like that, and she had 4 other kids. So I had to get custody of him when he was 2. And the judge told me I had to give up the music industry, and that made us homeless. So when you work in a little warehouse job and all you know is boxing and fighting, and everybody out here making money doing it, that's the journey. I said, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. So I became a boxing coach, and he grew up in the gym. 2 years old, he was in the playpen because I couldn't afford a babysitter. So all Floyd knew from day one was boxing. So and then at 8, once he became 8, he started competing for the United States in the amateur circuits. So that's all we knew. But we only went to it because we didn't have no other money, no other resources. And that was our only way out. That's the only way we could see a way out, that I could see a way out for him and his kids. So
Did that start in New York, or were y'all already in Texas when he started boxing for 8 years old?
that started in when he started boxing, that was in Georgia. He started this amateur thing in Georgia.
Got you. So he starts, going to the gym. Obviously, you become a boxing coach. He's doing his 1-2s. When do you realize that he's special? Like, what's the moment that you go, hold on? Like, I know as a father, he's special already, right? But then there's that next level. Like, hold on, my son is just not special to me. He's special to anybody watching. When does that realization happen for you?
It happened when I made the idea that he was gonna walk that journey, because it wasn't about him becoming special. I had to develop special. I had to develop special since 2, like since 8 when he was stuck in front of the because he was homeschooled, and he was homeschooled just boxing. So I had to convince him he was the greatest way before he could even believe that. I had to manifest that into his mind and instill that into him. So it wasn't just something that he popped up. It's something that I gradually developed, even with him getting him hypnotized and taking him to other specialists to develop this gentleman y'all see. That wasn't just by luck, like I just seen it and said, oh, he's great. Nah, I know what I put in him. So I know as that frontal cortex get developed and he get the logical side of things, then people will see what I'm saying he's the greatest boxer of all time. Because right now they're seeing somebody without the logical part developed. So he just going off pure instinct.
Was he always willing, or was there ever resistance from him to like get into boxing? Like when he's a kid, is he like, yeah, put the gloves on, lace him up, or are there times when he's like, do I gotta go? So, what was that like?
Like as a teenager, I think all boys get to that phase where there was times he came crying from school. He wanted to hang out with his friends. He wanted to go to the birthday parties, but we got a competition. You got to make weight, you know. So he had to give up a lot. He couldn't have a childhood. There was no way for him to go to birthday parties and eat cake and then got to compete next week. That just couldn't happen. And he was competing at least every other week in some way, shape, or fashion, whether it's sparring or going to a competition. So Floyd he didn't have a childhood at all. He was just fed boxing. He trained 3 times a day since he was 8 years old. And he trained now as a professional 3 times a day. Like I conditioned him where it's just like riding a bike to him. So
Second nature for sure. Talk to us a little bit, Senior, about like what's it like for you, you know, towing the line for each thing, each of the hats or the roles that you play, right? So you're his manager, you train with him, you're his father, and please clarify that for me. You do his management side too, right? Yeah,
yeah,
so you do everything. What's that like for you, and how do you switch through hats? Like, what's the difficulties of having to play all those roles, and how do you do it?
I think I'm used to it because I had to do it since he was little. I had to be his manager, his trainer, his physical his personal trainer, his physical
Strength and
therapist.
condition.
You know, I had to do it. I had to be there and do all those hats as a single dad anyway. So, you know, I guess I just grew right into it. That is second nature. To me, it's just normal. Get up in the morning, run his life, basically management wise, run his businesses, run his sponsorship stuff, and dealing with Ford and all the other people getting the commercials in place. So I'm just so used to doing that. But all I want him to focus on is boxing.
Do the wires ever get crossed though? Like, are there times when you need to be the trainer, but the dad in you is overtaken, or vice versa? You need to be the dad, but the trainer in you is overtaken, or do you find that you're able to balance all those roles really well?
I think it's not the dad never leave. Like no matter what hat is worn, it's always the dad involved. Because it's the trainer, like when y'all see me in the corner, I believe this weekend, and I'm yelling at him, it ain't because he's doing horrible. He's allowing himself to get hit behind the head because he's not using his jab. And I believe I'm still in trainer mode, but I'm also in dad mode because at the end of the day, we got to go home. What happens 2 years down the line, 5 years down the line with those headshots? So I think the father and the trainer is still the same person regardless. It can't be separated.
Got you, got you. And on that note, let's talk about it, right? So just give me first and foremost, assess for me the fight last week, how you saw it.
From the trainer side or from after I rewatched it?
I'll take both. I'll take both.
Okay. From the trainer side, sitting in the corner, I didn't like the fact that sometimes Floyd like banging. If it was up to Floyd, he want to be there and just to one of them fall. And I don't like that because I wanted him to fight southpaw, utilizing his jab, turning the guy, and the guy was going to run into the uppercut to the body, which was the guy's weakness. But Floyd just, a young man at 22, they full of testosterone, and let's go. I didn't like it. I didn't like the performance, but after I rewatched it, he did pitch a shutout. He did do a good fight. I didn't like that turnaround thing, but I seen what after rewatching it, he told the ref like 4 times previously the kid hit him behind the head. He like even looked at the ref, so I could see why he turned around, but that's not cool to do that. So I didn't like that part. I didn't like how I can't say they set us up, but something happened. They gave us a contract to fight 10 rounds, and we trained weeks just for 10 rounds. And a couple of seconds before we go out, they like, nah, y'all got to fight 12 rounds. We made a mistake, sign right here, or y'all not fighting. So it was that kind of thing. So we was pressed against the wall, but I knew if Floyd the one who made the final decision that, all right, Dad, we're going to go out there and do it. And I said, you might get fatigued. This Vegas. And it's 2 more rounds on top of what we didn't train for. So we knew he was going to kind of be fatigued. So it is what it is. But it was kind of weird, that kind of setup. I never seen that before. But
Let's talk about it, right? So after the fight happens. What's the conversation with you and your son like after the fight? Immediately after, when or even a day later, like when you're thinking about this fight, what's your conversation like after the fact? And same thing with Golden Boy Oscar. Did you guys speak about that after the fact? Like, yo, what the hell? We just got these 2 rounds added out of nowhere.
Nah, I didn't bring it up to them because we don't crowd it. It's fighting. It is what it is. Bernard told me, yo, it needs to be some changes made. As far as I don't know what changes he think need to be made because a kid is a kid. He's 22. He's not 24. He's not in his prime. He's gonna make mistakes. Oscar made a mistake. He got dropped early in his career. Manny Pacquiao got knocked out early in his career. Mayweather had a tough fight where people thought he lost early in his career. Lomachenko lost early in his career. So people gonna find difficulty early in their career. I don't know why they having to fit on him, and he pitched a shutout against a veteran. So and got up off the floor and still won the round. So it's like I don't get it. So it is what it is. It's boxing.
For sure. When Bernard says changes need to be made, or whatever about changes, do you think he's referencing a change or train addition, or like what were you picking up from what he's saying?
Nobody will reference a change against me because I'm one of the greatest boxing coaches of all time. I'm gonna tell that as a fact. But nah, I don't know what changes will be made because we already know Juan Guzman coming in our camp. We done already stated that to people. He was supposed to be in his last camp. So, and as far we got Ronnie Shields in the camp. So I know trainer-wise, it's nothing dealing with that. And you can't rush a young man to grow up if his frontal cortex ain't developed. That controls the logical thinking. You can't force that. You got to let him go through these experiences and grow. Like even Bernard lost to goddamn Roy Jones early in his career. So everybody got, and then he turned around from that loss, became magnificent and dominated. So Floyd had to go through this understanding. He learned about a hook that go behind the head to watch out for this Madonna style Mexican whatever hook that come from a top and go and land in the back and not the front. So we learned both.
No, I got you. I got you. What do you think about some of the hate you get? Like whether it's, like I'm reading a comment, right? And somebody says, oh, you know what? By the way, for anybody in the chat, Floyd Sr. is here because we wanted Floyd Sr. here. Don't get it twisted. And because he was cool with coming. So thank you for that. But because they're like, oh, why is he, his son not speaking? Don't get me wrong. We just spoke with Kid, and I'm sure if we reached out, Senior would have made it happen, or if that was okay. But we want the one-on-one time with Senior, so don't get it twisted, y'all. But either way, what do you take, or what do you think about like some of the hate you get? Do you feed it? Do you look at it at all? Do you read the comments? Do you see any of that stuff, or you just like whatever?
I'm the one that deal with the negative comments. I erase them so my son don't see negative comments. That's all I do on social media. Post up, do that. He answer what he got to answer. But I get more positive than negative. So I don't look at those couple of bots that's tank fans or whatever. I don't get negativity most of the time. Like the corporations I deal with that give us money just to go wear their name, they show us love all the time, and everybody else. So it's like the person that's sitting on the couch just throwing a comment out there and they don't know anything about what we went through to get to this point. I don't care what they say, but the people that matter, they know what we did to get here. We didn't take no shortcuts and we worked hard and we ranked in position to challenge these people. That's why I don't understand the hate, because we're in position. We're the mandatory. We can't call out our own. They like, come on, what do we work here to get there and say, oh no, he a boogeyman? Nah, it don't work like that.
Got you. Do you agree on Oscar's assessment as a C-?
You guys still Oscar's a Hall of Fame boxer, so his eyes gonna be different than me as a coach or somebody else's. He's a Hall of Fame boxer, so he's entitled to his opinion. Sean Porter gave Floyd a B+ performance. So everybody, different people got different perspectives on how they seen that fight, but I'm getting more of a B+ from people. I gave him a C performance. So I do agree with Oscar. I said it before Oscar. I said, because me and Oscar know Floyd is way better than that. We've been at the gym with him, Bernard and all this. So all of us is upset because we know what this boy could do. And it's like, what are you doing? You let the stage or something get to you? Like, what part got in your head that took you off the game plan? So that's why all three of us was like that. While the fans was loving it, we was like, no, we watch you stop people that got that style. So.
Understood.